Thanks for being here. Today I want to offer you peace. What does that mean to you if I say, I hope you're at peace, or peace be with you, like we say at church? What actually happens when I offer you peace? It was revealed to me the other day that we have to be open to be able to receive the peace, right? It's not enough for me to just offer you peace. You need to be able to accept that offering. And it made me think of the receptivity that we create when we're on our mat. We're really cultivating that sense of opening. And so it's not just about getting stronger, and it's not just about being flexible. It's about creating that balance between the flexibility and the strength. And in that, we create resilience. And in this case, what we're talking about today is receptivity. On an individual basis, we cannot be at peace if we don't first create a receptacle for it. We need to receive it and have a receptive spirit towards it. It doesn't happen automatically, but rather peace is something we learn to receive and to cultivate. So I once heard it said that in life we learn, we unlearn, and we relearn. And we spend our whole life doing that. I think there's nothing so true as that in yoga. We have our life's understandings and we act with respect to those until we are courageous enough to consider, reconsider, and unlearn those things that no longer serve us. Maybe they were never our truths to begin with, or they're just not true anymore, and then we relearn. So true in the body, we also have these movement patterns that we have learned, maybe sunk into, especially now if you're doing a lot of sitting, we've kind of sunk into these other patterns in the body. Or maybe you've had to adopt or to compensate for an injury or maybe a painful joint. So we do know that the body compensates and creates new movement patterns as we compensate. But our yoga practice can help us unlearn some unhelpful patterns and learn new ones. So to start with, I would like you to sit comfortably, and sitting preferably up on a blanket or a block to elevate your hips so your knees naturally come a little more open. Maybe your feet can separate a little further apart. Bring your hands in your lap and then close your eyes. And I can't see you, but you can see me. Put a hint of a smile on your face. Notice how that helps you relax. And then take 3 deep breaths in the nose and down to the belly, letting the belly rise, and then exhale through the nose. Notice how the body starts to relax. Inhale again, and exhale, release. Let's do one more. Big inhale, down to the belly, and then exhaling out through the nose. And now breathe normally, noticing the changes that happen by just taking a few deep breaths. And then take your awareness to your right foot and to the points in between each of the toes, one at a time. Move your awareness to the middle of the sole of the right foot. And now take your awareness to the left foot and to the points in between each of the toes, one at a time. And then move the awareness to the center of the sole of the left foot. Imagine now the points on both feet, all of the points, in between the toes, the sole of the foot. With the intention of being grounded from the middle of your body down to your feet. So we have this strong, grounded lower body. And then rising up through the crown of the head. Imagine your upper body being open and soft and receptive. So So that receptivity starts with a thought. And now let that thought attach to the breath. And let that breath permeate your body. Every breath, imagine creating that fertile soil. So we inhale, we feel the integrity of the body, we feel that groundedness, that strength. And then as we exhale, feel the body release and become more receptive. Inhale again and let that message enter in. And exhaling, letting go of any resistance or stress in the body. Take one more clearing breath here. And then keeping the eyes closed, move the right ear toward the right shoulder. Reach the left arm out in any way that gives you that nice stretch. All the way from the left fingertips up the arm, through the left side of the neck, and all the way over to the top of your head. Bring that left hand behind you. Keep the right ear toward the right shoulder, and then slowly look down towards your imaginary breast pocket, rotating the chin toward the chest. And then release the left arm back to your thigh. Take the right hand behind you. Slowly rotate the chin over toward that left breast pocket. And take the left ear toward the left shoulder. Take a deep inhale. And release that right arm now. That right arm can point all the way out to the right, high or low or anywhere in between. It gives you a nice stretch from the crown of the head all the way down that right side through the right fingertips. Try to extend the right arm out a little more. Good, and bring the right arm back to the thigh and bring the neck back up to center. And then take the left hand to the right leg and right hand behind you. Push down as you inhale, turning, looking over the right shoulder. Moving the left lung closer toward that midline. Every breath we offer in that receptive spirit, exhaling, letting go of resistance. And then letting go with the mind, letting go with the body, coming back to center. And then take the right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. Push into the earth, lengthen the low back, pulling the low back in and lengthening the spine through the crown of the head. Slowly turn over the left shoulder. Pausing here with the breath. Deep inhale. Right lung moves a little closer toward that midline. Exhaling. Let's inhale one more time. And exhale, releasing the resistance, coming back to center. And now stretch your right arm out to the right. Reach your left arm up to the sky this time. And arch yourself over toward the right. But push your left hip bone down into the block or the blanket that you're sitting on. Turning and looking up under that armpit. Good, and releasing. Let's go to the other side. Left hand down, right arm up so we get that length in the side body. And then arching over. Turning and looking up under the armpit. Nice job. Inhale, coming back to center. All right, so you know what? Let's bring the hands to the knees and inhale. Bring the spine forward on an inhale and the spine back on the exhale. Let's do a couple more of those. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. One more round. Good. And then coming on to all fours, move your things out of the way. Hands right under the shoulders, knees right under the hips, and reach the right leg back and the left arm forward. Inhale, push into the hand, lift the belly button up toward the spine. Good, and release down. Let's go to the other side. Left leg back, right arm forward. Inhale, lift. So you're not sinking down into the earth, but we're lifting up. Good, let's do one more time each side. Inhale, lifting, and exhale, extending. Good, one more time. Left leg back, right arm forward. Inhaling, lifting up and away from the floor, bringing the ribs up. So we're not bowing here with the back. Ribs are up, back is flat. Good, and release. Now take the left toes out to the left, pressing down through the left hand. Reach the right leg back and the right arm forward. Release down. Let's take the right foot out, toes curled under. Left leg lifts, left arm spinning and opening here. Nice job. Come back. Take a child's pose, please. Coming back up to all fours. This time we're going to take the left toes out to the left again. And lifting the right leg, right arm. Good, we'll go to the other side. Right foot, right toes curled under. Reaching now, opening, looking up under that armpit. Good, dropping the left foot, dropping the left hand, reaching the right leg back, coming into a down dog here. Feel free to explore your down dog, keeping the arms straight, armpits reaching up toward the front of your mat, bending your legs, moving the thighs back, bending one leg and then the other here. And then straighten both legs when you're ready. Good, walking your feet forward, finding your block. Coming to your forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. And exhale, release down. Inhale, bring the hands to the hips, elbows to the sky. Inhale and rise. All right, let's start by crossing the right foot in front of the left and interlace your hands behind you. Pressing the knuckles into the low back, drawing the ribs back, stretching through the chest and the shoulders, and then straightening the arms. We're staying right here. We're using a belt. And folding over if that's your choice, if that feels good in the body. Otherwise, stay upright. On the next inhale, rise. And let's switch. Left foot in front of the right. Interlace your hands the opposite way. Which way is opposite for me? Okay, pressing the knuckles into the low back, lifting the chest, ribs back, separating the hands. And then knuckles down toward the earth if that feels free in your shoulders. And overhead if that feels okay. Of course, you can uncross the feet if you need to for more balance. Inhale and rise. All right, so now we're going to come into our normal forward fold. But first we're going to lift up, create that long side body. Pushing the hips back, reach the hands forward, coming down to the block or to the mat. And inhale halfway up and exhale down. Inhale the right leg back to deep lunge, bending into the front knee, take that back thigh back, and then come upright. Again, interlace your hands behind your back, keeping them here with the elbows bent, or you can straighten the arms. This time we're going to straighten both legs, pushing down through the ball of the big toe on the left foot. Extend the heart forward. Good. Bending the knee, reaching back up. Extend the arms up toward the sky. Good. Bring your hands down to the mat. Step back to a downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift that right leg up toward the sky and swing it through, up between your hands, deep lunge on the other side, bending into the right leg, left leg back, pushing down, rising up, and interlace your hands the opposite way now. Push the knuckles down toward the earth or keep them bent at your low back. Straightening now, both legs, pushing down through the ball of the big toe on the right leg, reach the heart forward. Taking a deep breath in here. Imagine being able to draw the energy from the earth through the feet, up the legs, into the pelvis. And then as you exhale, send that energy back down both legs into the feet. Release your hand. Whoops. Sorry, we're going to bend into the front leg and come upright. I forgot this other pose here. Bringing the back leg back and bending into that front leg. If you're doing a lot of sitting, this might feel like a really nice stretch through the hip flexor on that back leg. Good. Now step forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift all the way up to the sky, bringing the hands together, placing the thumbs on the heart and the heart back into the thumbs. And remembering from that meditation we did at the very beginning about how that receptivity starts with a thought. So attaching that thought to the breath, bring that breath all the way through the body and then soften. Soften again. And then inhale, reach up toward the sky. And exhale, come down to your forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, release down. And then this time we're going to step the left leg back to our deep lunge. We're going to drop that back knee down. Walk the hands onto the inside of your right foot, moving your thighs over toward the right, bending the elbows and lowering down here. So we're going to keep our hips high, lowering the heart, allowing the heart to soften toward the earth. You can always use your block under your forearms. Perhaps your forearms come to the earth without the block. Either way, take one more deep breath in here, offering that receptive, soft breath all the way through the body. Good. Inhale and rise. We're going to move that block out of the way, and we're going to step back to a plank position. So for right now, our hands are under the shoulders, fingers are spread wide, we're up on our tippy toes, and all we're going to do is just shift the heels to the left, come back up to center, shift the heels to the right, and center, to the left, and center, and to the right. Good. Coming back up, push back to downward facing dog. This time when we come back to plank, we're going to pick up the left foot and rotate the toes over toward the right. And we're going to step that right foot up toward the middle of the mat. The right hand can be down on the mat, or that right arm can reach up to the sky. Push the hips up. Reach that right hand down, stepping back to your plank. Lowering down either onto the knees, or with the legs straight down onto the belly, flatten the feet, walk the feet out and rotate the shoulders up and away from the floor. Drag the hands back, come to a low cobra. Good, and lower down. Crossing one arm on top of the other, rest the forehead here. So in the middle of that effort, can we find a little surrender? So training that body to let go of expectation, letting go with the exhale. Bring the hands back to the chest, push back to your down dog, lifting the armpits, Releasing the heart. Coming forward to plank. Pick up the right foot, rotate onto the little toe side of the right foot. Left foot steps halfway forward. Remember that back foot, now the toes are engaged, or on the side of the foot. Top hand can reach up to the sky or can stay on the earth. You decide. Lifting the hips. You can even turn and look up towards your top hand or wherever it feels comfortable for your neck. Right? We don't want to add strain. Good. Reach that hand down. Step back to downward facing dog. And bring the left foot up to the sky and swing it through to the top of the mat, dropping the back knee, bringing the hands now to the right side of the mat. Move your hips out to the left, scoop the tailbone, staying here, lowering the chest, bending the elbows. Again, you can use the block under your forearms. You can kind of stair step your way down onto your forearms if that feels like the right thing, or just stay in that higher position. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale, rise. Straighten the back leg and step forward, forward fold. Hands to the hips, elbows to the sky. Inhale and rise. Okay, so I have a little challenge for you here. We've done something like this before. We'll see how you do today. Every day is a little bit different, right? So first of all, we're going to start out moving the thighs back. Let's balance on our left foot. Pick up the right foot, just grab the kneecap. Engage the toes on that right foot by lifting and separating. That'll give you a little bit of stability. Remember, we're strong and stable on our lower body. We're soft and receptive at the heart. Staying here, or you can come out to the side. And then the next challenge is going to be to cross the ankle over the left knee, bringing the hands to the heart and sitting the hips back. Stay with the breath here. Remember that song, soft breath, the receptive breath. Moving the hips back, breathing into that hip. And when you're ready, rise. And then we're going to grab the right ankle with the right hand. Hips back and scoop the tailbone, draw the knees together. And we're stretching out all the way through the psoas into the quadricep muscles, dropping that knee but keeping this tailbone scooped forward. How are you doing? It's a little bit of a challenge. Good, and release that. Let's go to the other side. Stand on the right leg, move your hips back, scoop the tailbone, grab your left knee with your left hand. The other hand can do anything you need it to do to counterbalance. Lifting and separating the toes. Take your knee out to the side. Reaching up through the crown of the head. And then when you're ready, crossing that right ankle or the left ankle over the right knee. Hands to the heart, move your hips back. And sit your hips down. Moving your hips back, bending that front leg. I didn't give you options on the other side, but your hands have options. You can be here at the heart or down onto the floor or on your top leg. Good, and we're going to rise. And if you need to touch down, go for it. Otherwise, grab your left ankle with your left hand, thighs back, scoop the tailbone, draw the knees together. Reaching up through the heart, lifting your gaze, scoop the tailbone, draw your ribs back, and release that knee to the earth. Reestablish if you start to wobble. It just means we're trying, right? Let's do a couple more breaths here. You may find you're tighter on one side than the other. That's really typical. Go ahead and release, especially, again, if you've been sitting. Sometimes we don't sit exactly even, kind of we're favoring one side or the other. Yoga can help us kind of balance that out. Okay, so now what we're going to do We've opened up our shoulders and our hips. So now what I want you to do is balance on your right leg, open up your palm, face up. We're going to kick the left foot into the left hand, grabbing the ball of the big toe. Easier said than done. Let me back up on my mat here. And then drawing the knees together, reaching forward, kicking back. Coming out of that posture when you're ready. That was a little struggle for me. I think I'm still adjusting to the altitude, or I'm not exactly sure what's going on. But little by little, I think I'm getting a little bit better, so I probably need to hydrate a little more. Okay, standing on your left leg, right hand reaches back. Grab a hold of the ball of the big toe on the right side. There we go. Maybe takes you a time or two. Good. And then kick your foot back. Reach your hand forward. What's really helpful is to find a spot that's not moving. So not really out one of your windows. Find a spot that you can softly fix your gaze. Good. And release and lower yourself down to the earth. Taking your legs wide on your sticky mat. It doesn't matter how wide you go. And remember, anytime, where'd my blanket go? It's hiding under my sweater. If this is not a comfortable position for you, simply sit your hips up on the blanket and finding a comfortable spot there. What you're going to kind of do is shift yourself forward so that blanket's almost just grabbing your tush and pulling it back. That's going to automatically inner spiral your thighs and help you pull in on the low back and open the heart. Pause here, soften with the breath. Become receptive. Pushing the hands into the earth if that feels like a better position for you, or moving your hands forward. We're not going to go too far too quickly here. What we want to make sure is that our knees and our toes are facing the sky, and then lift and separate the toes, and notice how that helps activate the thighs. And imagine somebody is sitting or standing on your upper thighs. That feels amazingly grounded. Just like we started class today, we're going to be grounded and strong so that we can rise up in this softness, in this length, and this flexibility in the upper body. And then move yourself in whatever position it feels good for you. If it feels good to come forward, do so. If it feels better to stay upright. So I'm not one of those that can just lay flat, but I can sure work with my breath. So I like to inhale and lift and lengthen the spine, and exhale, lower. So we can go back to that original breath meditation of inhaling, drawing in that receptive spirit. Exhaling, letting go of any resistance. Do that again. Inhaling, receptivity, and exhaling, letting go of stress. And then walk yourself over to your right leg, right hand down toward the right ankle, and left arm up to the sky, and maybe even arching over a little bit to the right. Good, and come upright, and the left hand down the left leg, and right arm reaches over, turning and looking up under that armpit. Kind of like that twist, or that the stretch we did in the very beginning from a seated position. A little bit different now that we're at the tail end of our class here. All right, so now what I want you to do is bring the soles of your feet together into this butterfly position. And the same thing, your hands can be right here behind you, or on your ankles, or even onto your big toes. Inhale, lift the head and heart forward. And if you like to fold, if that feels right for you, feel free to pull yourself forward. Otherwise, staying in that upright posture might be just the pose for you today. And you can go back and forth, making it a little dynamic with the breath. Inhaling, receptivity. Exhaling, letting go of tension. Good. And rise. straighten out the right leg, sole of the left foot into the right leg, and allow your hands to come down as far as you like on that right leg. But be really sensitive to how much you're pulling here on your back. So we don't need to overdo it here. Lift and separate these toes. My hips are still up on that blanket just a smidge. That might help you too. If you don't have a blanket, just a soft beach towel would do, or a big bath towel. All right, we're going to go to the other side. Walking your hands down your left leg. Inhale, lift the heart toward the feet, and exhale, lower. Good, and rise. And now we're gonna face the front of our mat if you're not already. Bring the soles of the feet together again. Push your things off the mat, and go ahead and lower down to the mat. Pressing the elbows down, lifting the heart, lifting the low back, releasing the knees. We don't ever want to force the knees. This is just, we're letting the knees go as far as they like. You can always put something under your thighs to support them if your knees don't naturally open toward the earth as far, because we really don't want to shorten what's going on in here. We want that to be relaxed and receptive. So putting a block under here, or a blanket, or even your hands, your fists for the moment, whatever, to give yourself that notion that we're not trying to push ourselves toward the earth. And then gently close the knees, hug the knees into the chest, rock a little bit here side to side to release any tension in the back. Good, and then grab behind the knees and open the knees out toward the side, pulling the knees down toward the armpits. If that's readily accessible to you, to grab the little toe side of your foot, feel free to do that, and come into your happy baby. Feel free to rock here a little bit side to side. Again, might massage some parts of the back. And then straighten the legs up toward the sky. See if you can move the feet so that they're right above the hips. Interlace your hands gently behind your back, and inhale, push the low back down as you lift up toward the toes, and lower. Lifting up toward the toes and exhaling and inhaling down. Go back and forth here at your pace. Hugging the knees in, walking the feet out, and coming into your Shavasana position. Pressing the elbows down. This time the hands are going to reach, the palms are going to reach up toward the sky. The eyes close, the body relaxes. The heart is receptive, the mind is receptive, and the palms are open and ready to receive. Softening the skin on the scalp. Softening the eyes so they're not clenched shut, they're just gently closed. You can even put a little eye bag or a towel over your eyes to help soften those muscles. Softening the jaw, the teeth are parted, but the lips are closed. The collarbone and the heart is expansive and open and wide. Take your awareness down your legs into your feet, to the right leg, to the point between the toes, one at a time, to the bottom of your foot, and to the left foot. Space right in between the toes, one at a time. Inhale, the back of the body now grounded and stable, connecting with the earth. And your upper body lifted and open and expansive. Begin to wiggle the toes and the fingers, moving the feet and the hands, hugging the knees into the chest and rolling onto your right side. Of course, you're always welcome to stay in your Shavasana position as long as you like. So if you're not ready to get up yet, you stay. If you're ready to come upright, come to the seated position, grabbing your block or your blanket. Sitting tall. And I'll leave you with these words. Yoga means union, or to yoke the mind and the body and the spirit. If we are unevenly yoked, we are spending too much time in one or the other areas. Chances are, in our culture today, we are spending way too much time in our head, and that can cause anxiety. So inhale deeply. Allow yourself to come out of your head, down into the heart. Breathing in and out of this heart space. Feeling the receptivity that is waiting for you there. Bringing the hands to that place of receptivity at the heart and bowing in gratitude for this time together today.